Well, hi guys, welcome back to this channel. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more updates, more educational content. Today we are going to be talking on, or rather working with PowerPoint. I'm going to show you how to use PowerPoint for presentation. Now the first thing you want to do is to launch the PowerPoint app. Now this is, and before you launch the app, by now you should install the software on your system, right? You should have something that looks like this here, and once you click on it for the first time, it brings you to this home environment. So this environment is where we do all our exploring. This is where we work. This is where we play around to get our presentation ready. All right, so this is how to open up your PowerPoint, and this is how to create a blank page. So immediately you open your PowerPoint for the first time, it automatically opens like this with this environment. Right now, we are going to be navigating through this interface to show you how the ribbons and the slide panes work. This tutorial is going to show you how this size work, and the first thing you want to do is to go over to the home button. Every PowerPoint environment starts with the home button. This is where your icons are kept. This is where the things you need are found, right? So on the first slide, which is labeled number 1, you will see an empty slide that you need to work with, and you will see click to add title and subtitle. If you look over to the word environment, you will notice that this font environment is inactive because there are no text yet on the clean slide. So what you want to do is to click on this to add your title. Immediately you click on it, it blinks like this, and you see that this particular environment is active. This is where you start putting in your text. So for now, I'm going to start writing something on it. For example, how to open PowerPoint. So for example, this is the text. Now, once this text is active, it means that you can change your font. You can add or increase or reduce your font size. So this is where you go to change your font. You want to click on the drop down arrow button to see all the fonts that are available. You want to click on it to choose a font that you like, and if you want to reduce the size or increase the size on this place, this is where you can find it. Now there are different ways you can do that, but for beginners, this is where you can find, your font and font size. Now this capital A option, has is for increasing font size. It also has the shortcut. So one beautiful thing to note about PowerPoint is that most of the icons have their shortcuts embedded on it. You just need to hover around it to see if it has a shortcut or not. So this is for font increase too. You can click on it to increase your font, or you can click on the counterpart to reduce your font size. So the same way goes to every other thing you find here. If you want to body your text, if you want to italize your text, you want to click on this, want to underline your text. So all you need to do is just hover around whatever you want to do to see the shortcut and what it is used for. So how to open PowerPoint is what we are currently working on. So on the home menu, like I said, this is where you find your font. This is also where you find your bullets. If you want to list a number of items, there are many types of bullets too. This is where you want to find them. If you want to number it, this is where you want to number. So this home button houses a lot of icons that are beneficial to you when you're creating your PowerPoint design. All right, so if you want to align your text, under here you see all the alignment options. If you want to align to the left, you want to align to the right, if you want to justify or align to the center, this is how you do it, and this is where you find it under this paragraph option, right? So under the font option, this is where you find your bold, your font color. If you don't like the color of your font, this is where you change the color. All right, so this is where you change the color of your font too. And if you want to highlight a particular text, you want to show emphasis on a particular text, and you want to highlight it separately after the color, this is where you highlight. All right, so are we together? So this is how you highlight. For this home button, if you want to add new slide, Every slide has a number. If you want to add a new slide, you can click on here to add either a blank slide or you add one that has option. Now, any slide you are working on has a border. So your active slide, that is the slide you are currently working on, has a border around it. And you notice that the number one slide does not have the border. But if you move on to the number one slide, you see that the border switches. So any slide you're currently working on has a border. It is important to note that. And you can add a slide that has text and every other element, which we'll get to as we continue working. So another important aspect of this work environment that you constantly use is the insert button, right? This button is used when you want to import things, you want to draw a table, you want to draw a line. This is where you go. Now, these are automatic tables that you can draw, but you can also insert the kind of table to show, for specifics, right? If you have something you're working on and you just want to do it by yourself, you can click on insert table to write exactly the number of rows and column you need. So this is it. And it's important also to note that these points at each corner means that you can adjust a particular thing from any of these points. So you just want to click on any of the points to reduce, and depending on what you are going for, if you want to expand it, you can also go this way. So if you want to bring it down, this is it. All right. So it's important to know that these things are adjustable. They are not for fiction and can be moved from any of these pointers. So on the insert option, this is also where you can add your pictures. You can add your pictures from your personal computer, from the browser, depending on where you have it. If you don't have a picture, already, what you want to do is you want to go to your browser to import or download the picture you want to use for your presentation, and then you import it from your device. So let me just do one of the importing from any picture I have on my system so that you can see. So you want to click on this device and it opens you to where you have pictures, right? So for example, I want to import this particular insert this particular picture. You click on it to insert, and you see the pictures are inserted. So, and like I said, the pointers at each edge means that you can adjust your picture and reduce the size to fit into what you're working on. Okay, so that is for inserting of pictures. There are more to it, but as we progress in this tutorial, I hope to be able to share a lot more. But for right now, what we are doing is navigating the interface and showing you what each one is used for and how you can also use it effectively. Okay, under the insert option, you will see insert cameo. This is where you can insert a face like this. If you are recording a tutorial like this and you want to put in your face, it's also under the insert option that you can see insert cameo, and then you can choose any shape you want for the tutorial. It is not cast on stone that it must be a circle shape, it can be any other shape. All right, so this is that for insert. Also under this insert option, we have insert shape. So if you are teaching a subject or you are doing something that has to do with shapes, you can insert shapes here. So I want to click on circle, and immediately you click on a shape. Let me show you what happens. Let me do that again. Click on insert and you click on shape. Immediately you choose on a shape, you see that you have a plus sign on your screen. What you want to do is to click down on your left mouse button, click down on the left mouse button, and you see that the plus sign is a little bit bigger, and you drag, right? So you click and drag to establish the shape that you want. So this is exactly how you can add a shape or any other shape. You find it under the insert button. You go to insert and go to shape to add a shape. Remember, the icon is also used to reduce if you want to, and I'm going to just adjust it because this is showing you what the interface looks like and how to work with it. Okay, also under the insert option, we have icons, 3D models, SmartArt. Let me click on SmartArt. So if you have a representation, or you have something you want to represent and to show maybe like a hierarchy, you want to show a pyramid, or you want to show or display something, this is what you want to use, right? You want to use SmartArt to establish visual representation of what you are talking about. It makes your work a little more appealing. It makes it look a little more nicer. So let's say, okay, let's say 1, 2, 3. So let's say you need to do something and you need a pictorial representation of it. This is how you can do that. So by using SmartArt, you can represent your work better. And it's important to note that you can change the color. So immediately you insert a SmartArt, you see the option that says change color. It means that you can change the color to whatever you want. Let me click on one color so that you see. And you can also change the layout. So if you don't like the layout of what you're working on, you can change the layout from there, and you can change whatever. Okay, so this is what SmartArt looks like, and this is how you can use it to better represent your ideas. All right, all these are found under the insert option. So let's go back to the insert option and see what more we can see there. We can see the chart option. If you have a table you want to represent, you want to use a pie chart, a bar chart, any kind of chart. This is how you want to do it. You want to click on the kind of chart you want to represent and then select it. So let's say I want to use a chart like this. I want to select the type. Let's say I want to use a stacked column, or let's say clustered column. Immediately you select the type you want to use. You click on OK. Once you click on OK, the chart is represented here. The chart is also represented here, and once you see the chart represented, you will see that the chart has opens you up to a mini Excel sheet where you can change the figure or change the text. So if you look over here, you see category 1 to 4, series 1 to 3, and then figures all around it. So on this Excel sheet that is open, you can now say rename it and say, let's say PPT 1, or maybe PowerPoint 1 beginner. Let's see, series, let's say 5.3, series 2, let's say 3, and let's say series 3 is 2. Let's leave it at 2. So category 2. Now what you want to notice is that the moment you start inputting your text, it is also changing on your work environment. So you see where we have PPT has changed, and the figures we inserted has also changed. For category 2, if you want to, let's say we are trying to measure how people view digital skills. So let's say how Canva has been used so far, maybe in a school, and maybe how what else? Corel Draw has been used. So this is how you want to represent them. So let's see, let's say you want to represent something else. Let's say category 4 is for media in general. So how people incorporate it in teaching and learning, for example, and you are changing the data. Okay, this is how you want to do it. Let's say 4.5, let's say 13.5. Okay, let's say now if the more you add, the more the more the numbers are adjusted to fit into what you're working on. Let's say CorelDRAW in this century has been, or rather media has, oh okay, is media, let's agree 11. Let's see, series 2, maybe between 2022 and 2023, this is it, blah blah blah, and say 2024 it has increased to 15. So now you can rename anything. Okay, so for series 1, so immediately you do that and you want to minimize or close this. Once you close that, you see that this table is ready. The chart table, or rather the chart icon is ready, and you can use it for whatever you are doing, to represent whatever. So let me just adjust this a bit so that we have a lot more space to work with. Okay, all right, so you see that this is here, Every other thing here has been changed. PPT, Canva, Corel Draw. So this is how you can use a chart, right? So let's say you want to use so this is how you can use a chart for representing your idea, and it's also found under insert. Everything I'm talking about currently is found under the insert option. There are more to be found. There are more things that you can use, more icons under the insert option depending on what you need. So at this level, I think I'll wrap it up there for insert. So there are more like draw. If you want to be artistic and draw something into your chart, this is where you find it. We have design. This is where we have PowerPoint pre-made templates that you can easily work around with. So you can choose a PowerPoint design and then use it to work around. Can you see what it looks like? So you can use any of the templates to bring your image back to life, right? So this is what you want to do. If you don't have the time, or maybe if you're on a clock and you want to do something quickly, you can use a template. Okay, so for transitions, you can add transitions to the page. These transitions are added to a page to represent your work. So we have different types of or kinds. You can click on the arrow button to see more transition effects. All right, so also if you want to apply your transition across all the slides that you're working on, you want to click on apply to all, right? This means that you use the same transition across all your slides. So even on your first page, this is the transition that will make sense, or this is the transition that you see there. All right, so basically that's what transition does. And for animation is always also to use to amplify or make your text come alive, to make your text interactive. You want to click on the text you want to animate and then click on the animate option that you want. So depending on what you want to show, you can use any kind of animation. Now it is important to note that you use these things in moderation. Only use it to show emphasis. Only use it when you need to, because when you use it all at once, it can appear tacky, and you don't want your work to appear a little tacky, your presentation to look childish. So you just use it for emphasis sake. If you are not making any emphasis on any slide, you can as well leave it. But if there is something you want to bring our attention to, or you want your text to come up before your animation comes up, you can do that. So I want to quickly show you what it looks like on presenter view. So now imagine this presentation. I added animation to it, and you know that while we were doing the tutorial, we had a chart, and I don't want to show this chart before it gets to the time. The chart is still on the screen. Because you have added the animation, you want to click around where you have the chart. Once you click on it, all the animated objects you have will come up. So this is what animation helps you to do, to lay emphasis, to manage your audience, and to make sure that they are not distracted with a lot of things that are happening on your chart. So basically that is what you want to do. All right, so for slideshow is where you want to show your presentation. Maybe you're not doing your presentation and you want to do slideshow. Typical of what I just did now, I clicked on presenter. So this is where you find it for beginner. This is to start from the beginning, to show your work from the beginning. You want to show your work, or you want to show your presentation from the current slide on your screen. This is where you find it. And let me show you another place. If you hover around the toolbar, just below, you will see something that looks like a cup, a wine glass. This is also slideshow. This is where I normally use for presentation. So if you want to click from the beginning, you click on it and your work starts. So you want to click, because I added animation to this, it is showing here, and then I added transition, which you can see, and also I added a little bit of animation on the slide. So I have 3 slides so far, and this is why we can only see 3 slides. So you can use the cursor arrow button on your desktop or your laptop to go left or right. So the left arrow button to go to the left, the right arrow button to go to the right if you want. Okay, so this is what the slideshow is all about. So basically for this is the interface of this tutorial. We have the record option. If you want to record your screen, record your slide, this is where we currently are. This is what we are currently doing, screen recording using audio and the likes of it. So to review, this is where you can go for review. This is where you can go to view, and then the rest. So once you are done with your work, this is where you want to come to save. For first timers, remember, you can come to file and come to save as, and then you rename, right? You want to rename. It is important to note, look over here, you see presentation one PowerPoint. Because you have not given it a specific name, this is why it's still bearing that name. So the moment you change the name, it automatically bears the new name that you have given onto that slide, or rather that presentation. So if you go to file and click on save as, and choose the place you want to save your work. If you want to save your work on your desktop, you click on PC. If you want to save it on your OneDrive, you can do that. So I want to save this work on my desktop, right? I click on desktop, and under my desktop I have different folders. Maybe I want to share it on PowerPoint presentation, so this is where I want to go, right? And I will save it as PowerPoint tutorial 1, which is how to navigate PowerPoint PPT, that's the short forms, interface. So immediately you add your text, the save option is active and your work is saved. And if you look over here, you see that your work has successfully been renamed. So this is it for the first tutorial. And please, if this has been helpful to you, click the subscribe button, click the like button, put out a comment so that we can get your feedback. See you on the next one.